You've seen nothing yet, I promise you. Mwah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What we're doing is we're bringing in the Jewish New Year. We've all been to the synagogue, we've all thrown away our sins, and now we're going to eat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kadishanu. No, it's not. That's the wrong one. Should we start that one again? Where do you begin?
There's 40,000 Jews in Manchester. I don't know how I'd sum it up, because every one of us are different.
Jewish people seem to have quite a lot of sex because religious Jewish people don't have televisions, so they've got to keep warm at night.
Do you have a sheet with a hole in it? No.
Normally the happy moments are having children, bar mitzvahs, circumcisions, weddings.
How cute is that? Married.
Jewish weddings depends on the pocket.
I was born Jewish, I will always be Jewish, I'll bring my children up Jewish. Do I want to be religious? No, I don't want to be religious.
I was brought up in a religious household. That's my way of life, I don't know any different.
With a life focused on family and festivals, Manchester's Jewish community is a kaleidoscope of tradition, religion and extravagance, and not all of it strictly kosher. There are over 250,000 Jews in Britain. After London, the second largest community live in Manchester. With a population of 40,000, it's the fastest growing Jewish community in Europe. In this cosmopolitan community live Jewish people of all levels of faith. They differ vastly in devotion, but most share a common sense of pride in being Jewish.
How do you feel about lace? You've probably done it first time round.
Yes, yeah.
90% of the people we serve in the shop are on my level.
Good Jewish girl, not.
Not.
And then you step up a few levels, you get the more religious.
I class myself as a modern Orthodox mum. We all observe all the religion, everything. The house, food, cooking, clothes, the lot.
And then you get the very religious and the fanaticals, if you can use that word. If that's what they want to do, live and let live. I'm quite happy with that.
Do you want a drink? Okay, do you want another bagel? No. Do you want a bagel? The grandparents are mainly from Russia and Lithuania. Came from the little shtekels. I mean, my mum was from Ireland, and I love it because people go, oh, Irish Jew. How can you have someone that's Irish and Jewish? This is my lounge, and this is my gorgeous daughter and my son-in-law, who got married in November 2008. They've got 2 little boys at the moment, and they live in Israel, in Hanof, and I don't get to see them that often. This is a picture of my 3 gorgeous kids, Saul, who's 21, Leanne, who you've seen, and Gabby, who's 16. Saul, 21, cute, gorgeous. It's a madhouse, that's what we're like here. Come on, have a pickled cucumber.
I'm not a religious person. I'm more a traditionalist. I'm happy doing my little lot, which is probably not very much.
Is the drawbridge up?
Mon Ami's been here for over 20 years. I'm not giving away my age, because I still feel 25. Now, this is for your fuller figure.
Yeah.
Not everyone will want cut off, but you've got to think summer.
That's a beauty.
There's quite a lot of girls who come in here for bar mitzvahs, weddings, big occasions. It needs to just hitch that up. It needs to be a lot shorter.
Yeah.
A lot shorter. And to be honest with you, some people, money's no object.
Hi, everybody.
Sandra has a wardrobe bigger than this room.
Have I ever seen you in the same thing twice?
I don't think so.
We have a very big Jewish clientele around here. So being Jewish, they actually trust me.
How are you with red? You don't
Not
wear
good.
much red, do
No,
you?
not good.
I like a bit of Zaz Penang. I like a bit of something different, and that's what I'm known for.
This girl can give Imelda Marcos
I have got a problem with shoes.
Yes.
In fact, it's so bad now. Don't look at these are like Miss Whiplash boots, I think.
Gorgeous, it's gorgeous.
Gorgeous little dress.
Yeah.
Lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I think Jewish people are like every other community. They like to party, they like to dress to impress, and like to spend money on clothes, which the more they spend, the happier I become.
No matter how religious you are, the family is at the heart of Jewish life. Burnett is marking the arrival of a baby boy with one of the best known of Jewish customs. It's called a bris.
That's anaesthetic. That means it doesn't hurt the baby. Physical thing is a circumcision, which itself is quite a minor procedure, but spiritually and religiously and culturally, it's massive. A ceremony which really seals the Jewish people with God.
It's mainly for the men. The women, poor women, don't really get involved, other than the people that are involved with it.
The actual thing is a joyous moment. I always like to stand at the front. I don't mind the sight of blood.
Every Jewish boy has one. You can't get married. You're not classed as being Jewish. You can't be given a name unless you've had a bris. They cut the foreskin. Oh, I don't know. It makes me feel sick. But anyway, I've decided it's the only pain a man goes through in Jewish life.
Even the most non-religious of Jews, who observe no other part of Judaism, almost always observe the bris.
Little fella.
8 days old, a baby doesn't really feel anything. And if you ask me, do I remember mine? No, I don't remember mine.
When I had my first, I was absolutely hysterical. But by the second, I knew that once you heard the scream, the baby's been brised, and that's it. You've got a nice Jewish little baby boy.
What's the
baby called?
Aaron Schmuel.
Oh, Aaron Schmuel. Oh, little Schmuely. Cute name, only Mazel.
Thank you.
Little Shmuley was named after his great-grandfather, a Holocaust survivor. For many Jews, the past is another country. Jack Eisenberg was born in Poland in 1928.
We're from all over Europe, the Baltic things, Russia, Lithuania, and that's most of the Jews. It costed me a lot to be a Jew, yeah. I've got pictures of my father and my mother. My father was called Isaac, and my mother was called Debbie. This is the flag, an original from a Hitler use, which a British soldier took, who was in the army after the war. And when I was in the hospital, he brought it to me. He said, "You have it." And you know, when you saw this flag 70 years ago, you trembled. You trembled. This was my number. I hadn't got a tattoo, but that was my number on the slave laborer's uniform. Jew, 18th of January 1945. Oh, Buchenwald, I shall never forget you. We had to sing this, because you are my fate, and how wonderful freedom is, oh Buchenwald. That's what made us sing. You want to take a picture of the bathrooms? It's a little bit better than Buchenwald. Listen, my father wasn't rich, he had money. What happened? At the age of 50, they dragged him into a gas chamber. Yeah, with my mother and my brother. I went into hiding. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. If I went with them, next day I would have been gone. Yeah. But I must say, God was good to me. I have no argument with God. I'm not asking him why was I in the camps. He made that up to me. He did. I can tell you.
From Mount Sinai to Salford, the Torah scroll is at the very heart of Judaism. It contains the early history of the Jews, from the creation of the world to the death of Moses.
This is a very, very special morning today for the Brody family. They are finishing writing a Sefer Torah, a fabulous event to be able to do. It is a real men event. So that's a lot of Jewish religion things.
Today is a rare treat. A handful of men have the privilege of writing the last few Hebrew letters to finish off the scroll.
Most of the middle of the aleph has been filled in, so you've got a bit. You've got 3 boxes. You've got the 2. Well, if they make a mistake, we cross that bridge when we come to it. And obviously, sometimes I have to make repairs.
It can take a year for a scribe to write a scroll. Anthony Brody was lucky. He won this one with a £100 raffle ticket.
That's it. You've done.
£100. That's all. Good value, considering a Sefer Torah actually costs probably about £23,000.
Sefer Torah.
I would love to be able to do one in the honour of my parents, but it's just unaffordable.
The Torah is used for readings during services on Sabbaths and religious festivals. This one will have a home in a newly built synagogue.
One thing about being Jewish, which I do like, it's very communal, and I think that's very, very important.
The ultra-Orthodox tend to live in the Salford area, Broughton Park, but the whole of North Manchester is quite a religious community.
If you're religious, you'll stick together where there's a shul and there's a community, and it's a sense of security, I think.
The Torah lays down Jewish laws to live by. The rules of keeping a kosher home even state what Burnett should and shouldn't eat.
Hi! Definitely we can't eat pig. We definitely can't eat gelatine. We definitely can't eat non-kosher meat at all.
Kosher, you want to eat kosher. But some of the people, religious, will not mix with people, a neighbour who doesn't eat kosher. Do you understand? Yeah.
Whether you're kosher or not, everything stops here on Friday afternoon for the Sabbath, the Jewish holy day.
On Saturday, we call it a Shabbos. That's our day of rest, and we do absolutely nothing as regards to work. So all the preparations are done on the Friday.
Jewish law means we're not allowed to film on the Sabbath. So Burnett is cooking her typical Friday night meal on a Thursday.
I've made the fish, I've made the soup, I've made the chicken, I've made the meat, I've made the cockles, I've made the desserts, I've made the lot.
There's the Torah law. You should keep 6 days, you shall work, and on the 7th you shall rest.
Yum. Let me just check my soup. Jewish penicillin.
There's certain Torah laws that have been laid down what you're not allowed to do.
It's not permissible to flick a light, to light a light, make it strike a match, nothing.
So you can't watch television, you can't put anything electrical on.
Not allowed to tear on Shabbos, so I'd normally cut it ready in advance. I don't have any toilet paper that's on a roll. Then I've just got loose tissue so we don't have to tear. We're not allowed to tear. My Shabbos kettle, don't boil a kettle at all. We don't switch on or off, it's on. We're not allowed to use any hot water like that, so what I have to do is wait till after Shabbos to wash up. So all my dishes are all stacked up on the side. That annoys me, actually. If I forget to put the kettle on and we have no hot water, then we have to bring in a non-Jewish person into the house who doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about, because we're not allowed to ask them to put the water on. And you've got to say, well, I can't make myself one, but I'd really like one. And you could go through this for 2 hours before the cutting on that you can't switch the time switch on. If I don't do that, then we can't have any food because the light will go on and off in the fridge. I work and then have to come home and have to do all my cleaning and cooking and Shabbos and baking and everything. Michael comes in. Oh, nice. Love it. The kids come in. I love it. You know, they've done nothing and I'm like ready to have a, you know, heart attack here. Bless him. Most of our meals are around family, which is what a lot of people admire about Jewish people. We sit round the table. Are you sure you've had dinner?
Definitely, very nice.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's part of the 10 Commandments. Keep the Shabbos day and make it holy. So it's up there with killing and adultery. Well, the meal always tastes nicer.
To the non-Jewish world, Jewish food is chicken soup and knedels, or they go, ugh, yuck, chopped liver, ugh.
People say, oh, it's the restrictions and this and that, but if you take it on board as part of your life, then you're supposed to enjoy it. And I think you do.
Like that henpecked husband who said, are you a henpecked husband? And he says, I don't know, I'll have to ask my wife.
Michael, do you want another glass of wine?
No.
Okay, a little bit.
I'm telling you, no.
Yeah, I think you are.
Not everyone observes the Sabbath rules. For Joel, Saturday is just another day of work.
We're open 7 days a week, so we can satisfy most customers. If I was a religious Jewish person, I shouldn't really be open on a Saturday, but I am, and I'm not religious.
Did you say you want a little bit off this? Which little bit should I cut?
Your clothes are far too big for me. I'm very small. I wish.
Jewish community style is size 0, skinny legs, or size 16, and it hides a multitude of sins, which being Jewish and eating a lot, you need to do.
It's not. It doesn't suit.
We are not orthodox. We don't stick to every single rule. We'll drive on a Saturday. A few shipping vests. We do things to keep traditional family values rather than sticking to every rule in the book. That's being honest.
She went on a date last night, and in 2 hours he bought you one drink.
I'd have binned him straight away.
What was it, a yard of ale?
20
Oh, that's the Jewish dating agency.
I mean, pleasing.
A bulge in the wallet department.
Oh, that would be very helpful.
Well, do you know what? Shall we put a wanted in the window?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No.
Trying to be fashionable and strictly kosher can be a challenge for religious women. Weekdays are their opportunity to shop.
What would you say has been our top-selling coat to the Orthodox?
They like a longer coat, don't they?
They've got the hoods, so when they're walking to the synagogue, obviously you're not allowed to carry on a Sabbath. So there's no handbags, there's nothing. You can't carry umbrellas. So when it rains, you put the hood up. Is that too provocative?
Not so into the leopard print.
Okay.
Too much.
But that's young.
Yeah, it's trendy.
The Orthodox don't shop on a Saturday for obvious reasons, but Sunday morning, as we open the doors, there's quite a lot of Orthodox.
I'd consider myself quite religious. Like to make sure that my clothes are like below my elbows, my neckbones, my collarbones covered, and my skirts are below my knee.
Everything I'm showing you is black.
My whole wardrobe is black. In Torah states you should make yourself look pretty for your husband and for yourself. You've got to feel good about yourself and have confidence.
How Jewish women dress shows how religious or how frum they are. Bernette obeys all the rules except one. She doesn't wear a traditional wig or shaitel.
It's not if, why, should or anything. It is a law that happens straight after the wedding.
Yes, please.
It could either be a hat, a beret, a wig, whatever. You are supposed to cover your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but does it come with the guarantee that we look like you at the end?
Yeah.
I have to look like you so we can be identical twins.
Oh.
It's yours. Is this like yours? I've never worn a wig. My mother never wore a wig. It's not right that I don't wear one. I know I should wear one. So you have to schlep everything underneath.
Yeah.
You have none of your own hair showing. Everything's changed. People have moved to the right. No. You don't need to have any. Young girls today that would never have done years and years ago wore a wig. Now they all do. It's automatic. Oh! Mary, no. But no, it looks horrific. It does feel fab. Hey, now, I look about 76. Oh my goodness. What do Michael think if I came home? I'm going home. Hi, Michael. As I would say, what would I say? Nishke fiddle. I'm sorry, I'm young.
With a smaller flower.
Yeah. I class myself as a modern Orthodox mum, but somebody else that's more religious than me might think, oh, well, she doesn't wear a wig, so she can't be that religious.
If dress code denotes devotion, there are none more religious than the rapidly growing Haredi community.
They're having 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. Doesn't take rocket science to know that they're growing faster than anyone else.
They've got their own schools and they have their own shawls and they have... Where I lived growing up is where that area is now. You would never really find a family like mine now. It's different.
This reminds me, Poland, before the war. Lodz had 250,000 Jews before the war. Mainly 90% religious.
The strictly Orthodox keep to themselves, even within the Jewish community. The men are distinctive in their black clothes with untrimmed beards and long sideburns called payas.
Right, they're quite long at the moment, so
Yeah,
I'll take about an inch off so they spring up, okay? Yeah. Now, some can have it all cut round and look a normal haircut, but it mustn't go below number 2. And then a lot of it is custom. Some have very, very long ones that are wrapped round and thing. Some have, short ones.
Yeah, that looks beautiful. Excellent.
There you go. Has to be the neck.
Yeah.
Everything done.
Perfect.
Brilliant. It's in the Bible that you mustn't cut below a number 2 on the pair. So they are wrong. It's biblical. It also then becomes cultural because different people do it different ways. It's just a good Orthodox Jewish haircut. Yeah. The reality is, before I came here for 34 years, I never mixed with Jewish people, never mixed with my own kind or anything like that, which is a long story. Basically, through my brother being killed in the Yom Kippur War in 1973, I moved totally away from religion. Didn't want to know, didn't bother. And the fact is, it's fate-led, Hashem, the Lord, has directed me here for whatever reason. That's the way I see it.
I came to England penniless 65 years ago, and we built up a good business. We really worked hard, I must say. Chapin stands for Jack, myself, P-I-N, Pinky, and D-A, David. This is all Holocaust survivors, all 3. This was one of the biggest factories in England of luggage. One of the biggest here. British made. I consider myself a very rich man for what I've achieved, especially my grandchildren. This is a big fortune. It is. I am not anti-religion, but I don't look at religion. I respect it. Look, you want to be religious, why not? As long as you don't interfere with me. To me, being a Jew, it is special. They care for one thing, for the family. And I think this is a very special gift.
In Burnett's Jewish world, young girls and boys live almost separate lives. But it's not long before plans are made for a nice kosher marriage.
If you're religious, then you go through a shadchan, which is a matchmaker. And I've been a shadchan and I've done it twice. But they have professional people, not me, who just thinks, well, they look good together, so let's get them together, and 1, 2, 3, they're married.
Thank you.
Oh, Hannah.
This is Hannah and Jeremy's engagement party, and they only met last month.
Oh, lovely. The matchmaker introduced the two together, and they met 4 weeks ago. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Mazel tov, as we say.
Thank you. We've been seeing each other for 2 weeks, so when he proposed to me.
Oh.
Very religious families, it's very normal. Some people actually only meet for an hour or 2 days before they get engaged.
Okay, fantastic.
The rituals of Jewish marriage start here, with the breaking of a dinner plate symbolising the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem 2,500 years ago.
Those marriages do survive. They don't get divorced. They've done all the homework before they've got married. Me and Michael met at a party, so that was no shadchan to start with. So we were then going out for probably about 7, 8 months. And then they give you a piece. Please, God, you're next. Now, we actually did hold hands, but we definitely didn't sleep together. We definitely didn't do anything like that. And please, God, babies. Well, lots and lots of babies. Baruch Hashem.
Joel isn't religious, but he still respects some Jewish traditions. His eldest daughter, Mia, has just turned 12, and she's getting ready for a very special party.
It happens, once in a lifetime. My daughter's 12, so in the Jewish religion, a girl at 12 gets bat mitzvahed. We're not very religious, but it's a little bit of religious knowledge that they need to learn, gives them a backbone. It has to be done.
Right.
A bat mitzvah is a woman going into adult womanhood, really, and becoming independent. And Mia should be able to tell you a lot more about it. I didn't actually have one. How do you feel about making a speech?
Really?
She does classes every Sunday morning to learn how to be a good Jewish woman.
I enjoy organising parties. I'm quite a showman, really. And I thought, let's do something different. I thought, right, we're going to have a Bollywood evening.
It's a Bollywood-themed bat mitzvah party, complete with kosher catering.
Fucking hell. We've not ordered food from the kosher food.
You better go and do it.
The problem is, there's some kosher meals that we've got to tell them to deliver them. A special kosher meal for very, very religious people, and it can't be touched. So I've now got to ring them and tell them it will be here. It needs to be here within half an hour. And I've lost my speech.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mia's bat mitzvah. You all look unbelievable tonight. Thank you all for going to so much trouble.
I am a nice Jewish girl celebrating my bat mitzvah, Bollywood style. That must be a first. For those of you who know my parents, my mum is normal, but my dad has never been. Just look at him.
My children are probably as religious as I am because that's the way they've been brought up. I would like my children to marry within the religion, as most people would.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you can be quiet, this is your host here tonight. He is here. What is a bar mitzvah?
Bar mitzvah is when the Jews run for a drink.
Joel's speeches are notorious for being very rude, very risque. So people know, not if they're easily offended, that they should leave.
Jewish people seem to laugh at themselves, and why not? Life's all about laughter. If you don't laugh, you cry.
A young girl comes of age when she's 12, but it won't be until the week before her wedding when she's introduced to the Jewish woman's best-kept secret.
It's the mikveh, and most women should, if not all women, should come here once every month. From the day one of your period, you can't sleep together, you have separate beds, and you stay like that till you come to the mikveh. I should be undressed with a bath towel on me. I would then walk down the steps completely into the water and immerse myself 3 times. It's like you're born like a baby with nothing on at all. And then you're excited to be with your husband then that night, because you've not been with him for 2 weeks. 2 weeks at least.
Well, it's like renewing your marriage every month.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Jewish people seem to have quite a lot of sex because religious Jewish people don't have televisions. When I was growing up, there was the funny old story about having sex through a sheet.
Do you have a sheet with a hole in it? No.
And I expected to see sheets hanging on washing lines with holes cut in them.
In Jewish life, one of the most joyous occasions is a wedding. Today, Sarah will marry Yossi in a strictly kosher ceremony.
My friend's daughter, Sarah, she's getting married today, and we're all getting ready to go to the wedding. We're all getting dressed up, and it's going to be fab wedding.
It's the custom for a Jewish bride and groom not to see each other for a week before the wedding.
Chuppah. This is where the chassan and kala, bride and bridegroom, are going to be in about an hour from now.
Meanwhile, Yossi the groom is given moral support from friends and family as the seconds tick away. The ceremony starts with the signing of the Jewish marriage contract, and Yossi signals with his hanky that he's happy to go ahead. This wedding is a meeting of 2 great Jewish cultures. Yossi is an Ashkenazi Jew from Eastern Europe, while Sarah is a Sephardic Jew of Middle Eastern origin.
This is the bride's daddy.
Daddy, yeah.
Be down.
I'm very proud to be here today. They met at a wedding, and they fell in love, and he proposed. I accepted. And the only thing I expect from him is to change from Manchester United to be a City fan.
The chassan is going to come now and put the veil over her. Can't wait!
This tradition recalls the biblical story of Jacob, who married the wrong woman who hid her face behind a veil.
Is that the right one? Good.
No, it's not.
A traditional Jewish wedding is the pinnacle of family life. Even the most non-religious Jews want their children to remain in the faith and not marry out. This is the foundation of the continuity of Jewish life.
שנת 5,771 לבריאת העולם למניין שלמונים פה כאן מנצ'סטר, איך רבי יוסף ורבי אברהם.
In Orthodox weddings, men and women guests will stay apart for the whole day.
הרי את מקדשת לי ותבזו קדש משה וישראל.
Once the glass is smashed, then it's Sarah and Yossi Schwartz. How cute is that? Married!
Just like at the engagement party, the smashing of the glass is a reminder of the destruction of the temple and the spiritual destiny of the Jewish people. Now that Sarah and Yossi are married, this is the first time they can touch each other.
It doesn't matter whether it's an engagement or anything, a boy can't touch a girl until after the wedding.
Mr. and Mrs. Schwartz.
Jewish people make a big hoo-ha about weddings, and you don't actually need the big kerfuffles that they make, but they do.
The traditional curtain separating men from women does little to dampen the enthusiasm of the partygoers.
I've been to weddings where they've even had a separate entrance, so at the car park I've said bye-bye to Michael and he's gone in one entrance and I've gone in another and literally not seen, and there's been a brick wall up in the middle of the room. And I wouldn't mind, but the men's dancing is far better than the women's dancing any day. My wedding is 25 years ago. I'm ready for my silver wedding. I've had 3 children since then, and I've had my own daughter's wedding.
I'm having a great time.
My father and mother were married 61 years. They probably had about 10 years happiness. In the old days, they lasted and lasted. They just didn't get divorced.
Yeah, I've got to go now, but I'm leaving you to him because he's dancing the night away. I've got 2 gorgeous boys. Hopefully both of them will marry nice, from Jewish girls. But she's got to be very special for my boys. Not letting anyone have my boys. They're very special.
It's Friday night, and Jack arrives at his daughter Debbie's home for dinner. It's a very special occasion. All the family have gathered for his 13-year-old grandson Benny's bar mitzvah, his Jewish coming of age.
Amen. Friday night meal is special. In Poland, I'm talking. The population was poor. They saved all week for the Friday night meal. A little bit of chicken, goose. And they sat at this table. I get sad. I get sad for what they've done.
So busy running to Sophie, and I can't say too long, so I took him bolt on.
I came to England in 1945. But in 1966, I meet up with Rona. When I seen her first time, I knew this is my wife.
Jack and Rona now have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. Jack couldn't have a bar mitzvah at 13 because he was living under Nazi occupation in Poland. Now, 70 years on, His only grandson is about to do what Jack was forbidden to do.
He said, I want a nice bar mitzvah for Jack to be proud of me in the synagogue, which I was. And he did it perfect. He's an intelligent boy. He's very loving. He's better looking than me, but that doesn't matter. But if there wasn't the granddad, there wouldn't be Benny. Tremendous he is. Oh, I didn't have any doubt. Hitler should have been here and seen what's happening. I meant it in a form of revenge. Do you understand? The grandfather he wanted to kill, he almost achieved it, almost. Terrific.
Benny's bar mitzvah wouldn't be complete without a no-expense-spared party to celebrate the occasion in style.
Benny wanted a really nice bar mitzvah, so the family can afford it. He got it. Yes, exactly. Why not?
Benny's bar mitzvah was fantastic, and it was fabulous seeing Jack there, and you could see a tear in his eye. He sat there watching his grandson. I mean, what really was going through his mind?
My feeling about these grandchildren, I cannot describe it. I had a little Benny. I had a brother who was murdered at the age of 9, cast. And I say to Benny, Benny, you know you're my brother. I mean it. He's the replacement for my brother.
Jack's story is a living reminder of the deliverance that has been a part of Jewish culture for thousands of years. The annual festival of Purim also celebrates deliverance, the story of Queen Esther saving exiled Jews in Persia from extermination in biblical times. It's one of the most joyous festivals in the Jewish calendar. It's the custom to drown out the name of Haman the villain whenever it's read out in the service.
This is what you do all day. You get, you receive, you get, you receive.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hello! Thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds are raised today for all needing different things.
Purim is a fantastic festival. You know, you live in a community, you breathe in a community, you eat with a community, and they're not bothered if you're religious or you're not religious.
You see people getting drunk, which is the only time that we actually are commanded to get drunk in law.
The community has come together as one family to celebrate deliverance. The Purim spirit is at its most energetic here in the very heart of the ultra-Orthodox community. A normally reserved people revel in the joy of Judaism.
And that's how it should be. It's amazing.
The Manchester Jewish community has thrived for over 200 years. It embraces all levels of religious observance. Now, with a rising birth rate in the ultra-Orthodox community, there is a corresponding reassertion of Jewish identity.
The modern generation has seen that they want either authentic Judaism or they want out.
Everybody's going a bit more religious because of the schoolings and the children. And the children are teaching the mothers and fathers what to do.
People say, we all live in ghettos, we're all very insular, we all don't like any intrusion from the outside world. But the outside world hasn't been very kind to us over the years.
Manchester's a city I've lived the last 60 years. I've seen two worlds. I've been in hell in the last 60 years, in paradise.